What's going on, beautiful people? It's your favorite, Giovanna here. How you guys doing today on this beautiful Tuesday? Happy hump day to you guys. Hopefully you guys are getting it in and getting some booty. Let me tell you guys, first of all, make sure you guys thumbs up this video. Make sure you guys comment and subscribe. That's if you want to, of course. And you guys, I was watching this video on Netflix. It's called The Man with 1,000 Kids. So it's a three-part documentary. And I want to say I want to get all this done in one video. But if I don't, then I'm going to have to do more than one video. But hopefully I get it done in one video because this is a lot. Oh my gosh, this is a lot, you guys. So it takes place over the pond. So it's in the United, what am I talking about? It's in Netherlands. That's where it's in. The Netherlands. Sorry. Okay. And the first couple is going to be Suzanne and Natalie. And they're a lesbian couple. And, they've been together for a while. And the only thing that they were missing really was a baby, to make their house, make their life, their relationship more meaningful. So they were looking for donors online. And they met this strange guy. And his name was Leon. But Susanna and Natalie, they didn't want to deal with him because, he looked kind of weird. He was bald. He had this strange gash on the back of his head. It was a hard pass for them. So they were thinking like, it's going to be over for them. It's nobody that they can really find. And let me tell you this, first of all, this documentary, it jumps around from couple to couples because it was so many people involved. It's so many people involved. Like it just jumps here, jumps there. So if I miss somebody's name, if I forget a little detail, please forgive me. Make sure you guys are watching this yourself because I did a video of the worst roommate ever, and I had the guy in my video on my comments saying, "Oh, you forgot this. You said prison instead of jail. Like, really, what's the difference, dude? You got locked up." But I ended up taking my video down because it was just too irritating. Like he kept telling me, "Oh, you need to upload and redo it." How about I delete it and we won't talk about your episode? How about that, sir? You get the fuck on and go somewhere else. Okay? Have to get that out the way. And then we have this lady named Vanessa. Vanessa, she always wanted to be a mother, but she never found anybody, really. She was just a single person. She just was looking to be a mom. And then we have Joyce and John. So John had 3 kids from a previous relationship, and he got a vasectomy after his youngest child. He remarried, and his wife was younger, so of course she wants to have her baby. And they tried to do a reverse vasectomy, but it didn't work. So they went and sought out a donor. And then you have Nicolette. She's a lesbian woman, and she wanted a baby as well. So all these people basically, they all wanted a baby. They all really, really wanted a baby. And there was this website called Longing for a Child. So this basically is their connect to how they found Jonathan, the man who has all these children. He's the main source of everything. When the way they met him, he didn't come off with his real name, of course. He was just pretending, saying other names at first. And then eventually he gave them his real name, the people that he actually was going to do, the sperm donation with. And it talks about the story of how he met these people, how he met these people, met these couples, and how they got everything started. Another person you have to keep in mind, her name is Vanessa. She was a single woman too, and she also, wanted a baby of her own. And instead of getting sperm from him like through the cup, trying to like inject it in that way, she wanted to do it the all natural way, all natural. So she wanted to sleep with him basically, and they did that, and she conceived a baby too. And it goes on to the stories, and it tells about how Jonathan would jump from different city to city. He was just all over, traveling the world. He had this YouTube channel, and he was talking about how you can learn different languages in 15 minutes. The way they portrayed Jonathan, the way the ladies explained him, they're going to show his picture, but the way the ladies explained him, they looked at him like he was just like a stud muffin, basically. He had blonde hair, blue eyes. He had long blonde hair. It was kind of wavy, but the way they explained him, they were like, "Oh, this man with this blonde, long, curly hair." And if you guys know what curly hair look like, you know, his hair wasn't looking really curly to me, but you know, he was just the ideal European standard of beauty. He wasn't ugly. He wasn't ugly at all. He's attractive, but you know, you see some men. I like tall, dark, and handsome. So, okay, there's that. So you know, he was giving out specimens here and there. They would uh they would drive to go pick it up from him. One couple was saying how they had it in between their legs, like in the specimen cup. They had it in between their legs, and they were trying to hurry up and drive home because you don't want the sperm to die. You know, it's alive for a certain amount of time before air hits it, and you have to keep it warm because if you know they were doing a lot, but they stopped on the side of the road to inject it in and stuff. So you really can see the desperation in these families' stories. Let me say that a lot of desperation. They were very, very, very desperate, and they really, really wanted a baby. Some people even got two kids out of it, but you can see that they really, really wanted a baby, and how people get misinformed, trusting people, and things of that nature. So there was this embryologist. His name was Dr. Max, and he was helping women conceive too. And he was talking about the donor agreements, what clinics have to have, you know, the fine print documentation, things like that. And they were only allowed to have 25 kids. That was the limit, right? They were only allowed to have 25 kids. Um, it was just a lot going on. So the doctor had got an anonymous email, and it was talking about basically Jonathan, how he had over 150 kids, and it was another sperm donor that was working with him. Just a lot, you guys. Just a lot. Excuse me if I'm going out of context. It's just a lot to unravel. I got my notes here, but you guys have to look at it too if you guys want to talk about it, because I can't just sit here and tell you everything. And if I miss something, then I don't want to hear no bullshit. Um. Okay. Yeah. So he had like over 105 kids. I mean, 150 kids. Excuse me. And most donors, they say the reason why they say, you know, only five, because it runs the risk of half siblings. So like a donor has all these kids, right? And they live in the same country. The chance of them being attracted to each other and possibly procreating and inbreeding is incest. And that's what that will cause, right? Um so one of the ladies, she was a teacher, and she was at work, you know, and she was talking to one of her colleagues, and it just so happened that they were talking about a donor, and she was like, "Oh, you know, who's your donor? Who's your donor?" They talked about it, and they found out they had the same donor, and they were kind of excited because they're like, "Okay, you know, our kids are gonna be siblings, great, whatever, right?" Um, so Suzanne and Natalie, they wanted another baby, baby number two. So much to talk about. They wanted a baby number two, okay? And this is when they start hearing about other babies popping up too. You know, she already talked to another lady that worked with her and said that, you know, they had a baby with him also, Jonathan. Um, there was a Facebook group where it was a lot of women that they just started a group on Facebook, and they were all talking about Jonathan and who has a baby with him and what he's doing, and with it's just a whole bunch of just talking. Just the baby mamas have congregated together. I shouldn't say baby mamas, but that's what it's like. This is like it gives you baby mama drama, but not really. It's weird. It's hard to explain it. Um, it was just a lot. Oh my gosh. And as they're still talking, life is still happening. He's still traveling. Some of these women, that want more babies with him, he wants to meet up with them for I mean, I'm sorry, they want to meet up with him for a second time, so they can have their babies, but he's too busy because he's out there, traveling. He's in France, Europe, Japan, Italy. Unbeknownst to them, he's out there, donating sperm, just having babies, and they think, oh, he's just traveling, doing this and doing that, right? Um, then there's a lady named Patricia. She pops up. This is episode 2 now. Patricia, she knew him very well. She said she talks to him like every other day. She was somebody who wanted to have a child with him as well. She's a lot older than him, but she wanted to have a child with him too. And it almost seems like she had a crush on him because the way she was talking about him, she was saying how they would have, you know, try to do it the natural way, and how she will always make him chocolate chip cookies and chocolate milk because he was young and it was just so adorable. I thought that was kind of weird to just say some shit like that. Just you want to make him chocolate chips and cookies. You're trying to fuck him and you think it's adorable that he's young and he wants to give you a baby. Problem there, mental disconnect. But I had a lot of what the fuck moments watching this. I'm sorry, I did. Like, I know people want babies, and I know if you can't have a baby, it's hard. But I mean, ugh, you couldn't see the red flags, the red tapes, the way he was sketchy, just the way stuff was. I don't know. I just feel like it was really, really sketchy. Um, woo, there's more. So she started talking about how she learned about him and how he was like, trying to grow into himself. He went through a stage of him wanting to have like different looks, short hair, different color hair, until finally the long hair fit him and he kind of found his whole niche. And that's just what it was. This is Patricia talking about him because he was her friend and they had a relationship. She didn't view herself as just a victim from this man. But then again, she liked him because he was young and her mindset. Just my thoughts though. What she talked about was he had an addiction and he was addicted to donating sperm and having kids. That was his addiction all the time. That's just what he wanted to do. Like that was his life purpose, I suppose. And that's just what he did. So they found this lady. Her name is Eve Wiley, and she was a fertility fraud activist. And like 30 years ago, she was a victim of fertility fraud because her parents had um, tried to get a sperm from a sperm donor, and the sperm donor ended up being a doctor that injected. That was her story. I've heard this story before, but I don't want to get this story all mixed up with this because it's easy to get it mixed up. So she was there to help them. Just to help them because they really really needed help, and she was understanding. She's an advocate. She's trying to help the people. um Eve Wiley, Wiley, what she did was she kind of gave a breakdown of the guidelines of fertility, and basically she was saying how they're very very slim basically when it comes to the guidelines and the rules. And if you compare it to breeding animals or cattle, they have more regulated things in the fertility industry than us with sperm donation. And that's kind of like a slap in the face, right? What else? Okay. The ladies, they all band together to take him down. And what they wanted to do was they wanted to get it like mainstream media, because you have to remember this is in the Netherlands, right? So that's why they really were working with the activists to help them. So they were trying to get it picked up to what's it called? New York Times. And when they were trying to get Jonathan to stop, they were like, they really tried. They tried through Facebook. They were reaching out to him, and they were very respectful the way they spoke to him because some people would have went crazy on him, but they didn't go crazy on him. They were very very they remained respectful the whole time. And his responses back to the ladies were like, he would call them ugly, like they were desperate because they're the one who wanted to have kids, and they got babies because of him, of his sperm. He was very uh arrogant and narcissistic and facetious, if you will. Um, he would say to them like, oh, he's going to get a whole bunch of exposure for this, just like basically trying to hype himself up like he's the man. So, yeah. And then they start to go into more detail about the Longing for a Child website, how it was ran by Leon, the big bald guy. Like in the beginning of it, you're gonna see the girl who wanted to, get a sperm donor, and she sees this guy Leon, and he got this big gash over his head. He's bald headed. She don't want to have a baby with him, so he's part of it. He's in cahoots with Jonathan, right? So, what they want to do is try to maximize their offspring, and they were saying it's kind of like they operate like the cartel. That's what the ladies were saying. Um, and what they were doing was Jonathan and Leon will mix up, because remember Jonathan, he would like go in the bathroom and give them sperm. It was just like whatever the ladies wanted the sperm. So what Jonathan and Leon would do is it was like Russian roulette. They would like mix the sperm together, their sperm together, to give to the ladies. And it's like, okay, you get it, the best man wins. You get it, you get it, you get it, you get a baby, you get a baby, you get a baby, and you get a baby, right? Which is wild as hell. Which is crazy. So they end up getting a lawyer, this guy named Mark, and they really they wanted Jonathan to stop. They did everything they did. They had to get muscle and power behind him, and they wanted to get him to stop procreating. But how can you just go to somebody and be like, hey, you got to stop procreating? You can't do that when he's saying he's not doing it. He has so many aliases. It was so many different sperm facilities he went through. They were in Denmark, Germany, Italy, under fake names. Oh my God, you guys, it was just so much. It was just so much. So then it was a new sperm facility. It like just started popping out, right? And it happened to be in South Africa. Yeah, so it happened to be in South Africa. So he was going down to South Africa to go spread his seed. Him and a couple of mass donors, they were going to South Africa to spread their seed, and they called him the Lion of. They call him the Lion because that's what he called himself, the Lion. And the women, they were on his ass like white on rice. Do you hear me? Because they, when somebody has a pattern and you're a woman and you're an investigator, let me tell you, honey, you're gonna get that ass. A woman are the best investigators. They got his ass. They found his ass, and basically that's all that matters, because it's so much to go into detail, and I don't want to have to do 2 other videos. I'm just being honest. I'm already at 17 minutes. Woo. Anyway, so they're in Kenya. Their goal was to make like 200 babies a year. Another mass sperm donor there that was in the chat, he was saying how he wanted to bleach Africa. He said he wanted to bleach Africa. Bleach Africa. What it really made me think is these men, Jonathan and all these men that just do this weird shit, right? Their manipulation, they definitely have a mental disorder, first of all. But it gives me, I'm gonna just go there, fuck it. It gives me that they have a God complex. Like, oh, I created this. I'm grand. I did this. To have like 600 kids and you're just making them, and you don't care about inbreeding. You don't give a damn. You just think that your sperm is a super sperm and you're doing it and it's getting glorified. It's disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. But you know what? It makes me think. You know how you hear about in Jamaica all the time that there's so many the Chinese in Jamaica? Have you heard about that? It's a lot of Chinese people in Jamaica. Maybe I shouldn't go there with this video. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Maybe you guys aren't ready for Giovanna to talk about it. It's so much shit going on. It's so much shit going on in the world when it comes to these babies and just breeding and all the shit like that. It was just really disgusting. So anyway, he ended up going to court, and they started. Wow. He ended up going to court, and the ladies, they were watching, via social media, because different time zones, and they ruled in the ladies' favors, which is amazing. So he was in violation, and he was forbidden to donate semen again. And if he were to do that, he's going to be fined 100 euros. Um, and he also, Jonathan must request that all sperm be destroyed everywhere in the world. Some of the families met up later on in the documentary just to have a big support group, and that's kind of what it turned into. They came a long way, and like basically they became a village. It still sucks though because they went through a lot of traumas and a lot of BS, and they really, to me, I wish that they would have really, really, really dissected this on his mental issues, but they really wouldn't go into it because he denied. He didn't want to be part of it. He was no statements he wanted to give or anything. He didn't want to interview with them, so they couldn't really dig deep when it came to him and his mental illness and him getting help. Because I truly do believe that he's still doing this today. He may not be able to donate sperm in sperm banks or whatever, but I still think that he's still giving his sperm away on the low. Because for you to be a person to have that mindset to have 600 kids and then now you have to stop because you got caught, you're not just going to stop. It's an addiction, it's a sickness. He's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. Not at all. But it's just sad because it makes me wonder how many people do we encounter like this every day? Like when walking down the street, you just don't know because they look normal. He looked like nothing was wrong with him. He was an attractive man, the ideal man. So many women were going after him. They were just looking for him because he's not ugly. He's not ugly. He's handsome, but he just didn't have curly hair. But but he's not ugly. He's very handsome, I suppose. And he's the ideal. Most women like that type. Most these women like that type. Blonde hair, blue eyes, easy. Um, you hear about I can't even talk. Pretty privilege. But we don't hear about pretty privilege when it comes to men. But he definitely had pretty privilege. That's what is given for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. So let me know what you guys think. Have you guys seen the documentary? It's a lot of stuff I skipped because it would be too much to talk about. And the thing is, I want you guys to watch it so we can converse in the comments down below. So you can talk to me and I can talk to you. You can talk to me and I can talk to you. And we can talk and laugh in the comments. I want you guys to have a beautiful day. Make sure you guys stay hydrated because it is so hot outside. It is so hot outside. Summertime is here. And until next time.